My little brother is my best friend. When he was 6 and I was 9, we went to Juneau to meet up with my uncle. We were going fishing because Alaska does it best and my uncle takes us every single year. It's one of his favorite things to do and he gets out on the water at least once a day. That day when he took us out, my dad, my brother, and he took us down a series of channels that led to a cove that's notoriously perfect for halibut fishing. But halibut fishing can be tedious for a little kid, and so while my uncle was setting up all of the gear and all of the fishing lines, my dad suggested that my little brother take the small red raft on the back of the boat and go out and cruise around the cove. Brent took off on the raft and we started fishing. Within about 15 minutes, my dad had managed to cook a huge halibut on the line, and my uncle and I were so excited to watch him reel it in. In the flurry of all the excitement, my dad called out to my brother to look at the fish. But when we looked up into the distance, my brother on that tiny raft was almost so small that you couldn't even see him. He was so far away. In a flash, he was gone, just nothing but open ocean stretched out in front of us. And in Alaska, if you fall into water that's that cold, we're talking Arctic glacial water, you die. My uncle charged to the front of the boat and began frantically calling the Coast Guard for help. He finally got a hold of them and explained what happened, also telling them that us in the big boat could never get through the tiny channel that my brother had disappeared through on the raft. Though understanding the severity of the situation, they only really had one response at first. You let a 6-year-old take out a raft by himself on Arctic water? Yes, now you need to find him. My dad then had the difficult task of calling my mom, trying to contain his fear and telling her that her 6-year-old son was missing on the ocean. She freaked out. As the time went on, I was in tears, thinking that I might never see my little brother again. My dad said nothing. He just stared at the water, at the cove where we had watched my little brother disappear. Then out of nowhere, we saw a tiny boat come flying back into the cove at full speed. My baby brother grinning proudly next to the motor, seated safely. When he got close enough, my dad lifted him up with one arm out of the raft and threw him onto our boat, got down in front of him on his knees, and frantically started yelling, "What were you doing? What were you doing?" half enraged and half just so relieved to see him alive. To which my brother, still in good spirits and loving Dash from The Incredibles, could only reply, "That was totally wicked!" But we caught a big fish and got a good story, and Alaska's all about adventure.